Hey guys, I hope you've been having a wonderful day. My name is Dion, and today we're gonna see if I could beat Pokemon Heart Gold only using Poison type Pokemon. With that, let's go ahead and explain the rules. I can't overlevel my Pokemon. I can't use items in battle, but held items are okay. I will be using other Pokemon for HMs, and I will be playing on set mode. Now, I didn't talk about it in the video, but I do catch at least 6 of the same Pokemon, and I just picked the best one out of the bunch because I would just get like the worst thing ever. And trust me, I never got anything crazy. But yeah, I thought I'd just let you know. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Subscribe and like the video, and let's go ahead and get started. In order to start our challenge, we pick our so-called starter Pokemon, and I'm not sure if it mattered which Pokemon I choose, so I just picked Cyndaquil. After getting a package for Professor Elm, we run into our rival and we fight. We spam tackle until we win. Before he left, he dropped his wallet and his name is Jay. My thing is, how do you steal a Pokemon and get caught 2 minutes later? Anyways, once we get access to Pokeballs, we can get our first 2 Pokemon being Miguel the Spinarak and Maya the Zubat. The only downside about Maya is that to fully evolve her, we have to have high friendship, meaning we have to have her in the front of our party and make sure that she doesn't faint, which is probably the hardest part for me. But if I can manage to do that, we'll get an absolute beast. As I was making my way to Violet City, I remembered that we can get another Pokemon being Bellsprout. I don't know how, but I totally forgot that it was part poison, so I pick one up and name her Sally. Now that we're actually in Violet City, we immediately go straight to Sprout Tower where we can get another Pokemon being Ghastly. Now I know you don't see a name, mostly because I forgot, but just know his name is Bill. Now that we have everyone, we face the first gym, and this is how it went. We were doing pretty good with Maya using Supersonic and then spamming Leech Life for a bit until we get hit with a Sand Attack. So I switch into Bill and it just got worse. We get hit with a couple Sand Attacks, missing Hypnosis a bunch of times. But after a while, we finally landed, putting Pidgey to sleep. After that, I switch into Miguel and we spam Poison Sting until we knock it out. He sends out his last Pokemon and yeah, we get wiped. Pidgeotto takes out Miguel with a Gust, takes Bill out with a crit Gust, and then almost KOs Sally by another Gust, leaving us with 2 HP. But we just get taken out by a tackle, and then finishes off Maya with a crit tackle. Now, I don't know about you, but that's impressive and sad at the same time. Alright, let's get everyone to the level cap and try again. So we pretty much did the same thing as last time to knock out Pidgey, and this is where things went a bit differently. He sends out Pidgeotto and uses Gust, but we live and use Scary Face before going down to another Gust. I switch into Bill and use Hypnosis and then Curse. After that, I send out Maya and spam Bite to get the win. Hypnosis Curse combo is nasty work. I'm gonna try not to use that too often. We make it to Azalea Town, and before we can face the gym leader, we have to help out this old man in getting rid of Team Rocket because they're at the Slowpoke well, cutting off the tails of Slowpoke. And it wasn't that hard, so we go through everything pretty easily and got some level ups as well. Now we can go face our next gym leader, Bugsy. They go first using Focus Energy while we use Supersonic. Next turn, she hits herself while we use a Wing Attack. After that, they ate a berry and then landed a Quick Attack while we used another Wing Attack, leaving them on red HP. Knowing they're going to use a potion next turn, I use Wing Attack again, doing about half. Looking at it now, I probably could have kept in and used Wing Attack to KO, but I ended up switching into Ghastly and Scyther hits herself again. Next turn, we get hit with a U-turn, so Bugsy switches into Kakuna while we land a Hypnosis. After that, we use Nightshade to take out the rest of his team without any trouble. And honestly, I'm surprised. I thought for sure the only Pokemon I was gonna use was Maya, but I kinda liked how it turned out. After healing up, we faced Jay where we held up pretty well. Maya took out Ghastly, but they did use Curse before going down. We switch into Sally and we almost take out Croconaw with a couple Vine Whips before going down to a Water Gun. I send out Maya again and use 2 bites to KO. After that, he sends out Zubat, so I switch into Miguel and use Nightshade, doing decent damage. But our downfall was being confused and getting flinched, eventually getting KO'd. But with Bill, I use one Nightshade to win the fight. In Elix Forest, we helped this dude get both of his Farfetches that ran away, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a hard time getting that second one because I couldn't remember how I did it. But once we figured it out, they gave us the HM cut, which made us reach Goldenrod City, where we have to go to the radio tower and answer some questions first before we can fight our next gym leader. And after flopping the test the first time, we passed the test, and now we can fight our next gym leader, Whitney. I sent out Sally and put Clefairy to sleep. After that, we use a bunch of Vine Whips, eventually getting it to red HP. But they heal, so we pretty much do the same thing again until we KO. Next is Miltank, and they use 2 stomps to KO. I didn't even get to land a hit. I sent out Bill and get hit with an attract. I was worried that we weren't going to be able to do anything, but we immediately land a hypnosis. Next turn, we get hit with a stomp, and I was confused, like, isn't stomp a normal type move? But it's probably an ability because that's just not possible. We land a curse, KOing ourselves, so I send out Maya and use a combo of bites and wing attacks to get the win. We go next door where we talk to this lady who gives us a watering can to mess with a Sudowoodo that's blocking the way to the next town. So we get there and immediately run from the battle because we have no use for it. We fight some trainers where Sally evolves into a Weeping Bell. So that's nice. Now that we're in Ecruteak City, we go to the Burn Tower where we fight our rival again, but he wasn't much trouble, so after beating him, we go further down the tower where we unlock a quest we ain't gonna do. Since we got that out of the way, we head to the gym where Maya evolved into a Golbat as we were facing the gym trainers, where I may or may not have gotten a little cocky and thought Maya could take the whole gym, so here's that attempt. We one-shot Ghastly with Bite, we almost one-shot Haunter, but he heals, but next turn we take him out with a bite. Next is Gengar, and he's faster using Shadow Ball, almost taking us out. We land a bite, and that's where I decided to switch into Miguel and get one shot with Shadow Ball. I send out Bill and the same thing happens, but I'm not surprised, but I was surprised when I sent out Sally and we get hit with a crit Shadow Ball. Now that's just crazy, ain't no way. Well, we lost. I guess I'll level up everyone, and that's when we got some new evolutions. Bill evolved into a Haunter and Miguel evolved into an Ariados. With that, let's try again. And all I gotta say is that I leveled up my Pokemon for no reason. Because with Maya, we one-shot Ghastly, we almost one-shot Haunter, but we get put to sleep and then he heals. But we wake up next turn and this time we one-shot him with another bite. His next Pokemon is Gengar and they land a Shadow Ball, but it was for nothing. Because with a crit bite, we one-shot him. He sends out his last Pokemon Haunter, and as you can imagine, we one-shot that one as well. I find it a bit funny that we didn't level up Maya at all, and we still managed to win, only using Maya. Doing a little backtracking on Route 35, we could get 2 Pokemon being Nidoran male that we named Thunder and Nidoran female that we named Fire. With that, we go back to the Burning Tower where we could get ourselves a coffee that we named John. After that, we make our way to Olivine City where we can get our next Pokemon, Tentacool. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any with the good rod, so I ended up catching a Krabby instead and teaching it Surf, riding the waves, eventually finding Tentacool. Now, I actually kept the name as is because Tentacruel is a nice name. On our way to Signwood City, Maya finally evolves into a Crobat, and what perfect timing that was. With that, we fight our next gym leader, Chuck. We use Wing Attack, leaving Primeape on red HP while we get hit with Rock Slide, and we surprisingly hold our own. With 2 more Wing Attacks, we KO. His next Pokemon is Poliwrath, and we use a Wing Attack and do about half. But he heals with a berry and then uses Body Slam. Next turn, we take him to red HP with Wing Attack before going down to a Surf. I sent out Sally and use a Hyper Potion, so with that, we put him to sleep and use nothing but Vine Whips to win the fight. I'm more surprised that he stayed asleep the whole time, making this fight pretty easy. We go back to Olivine City and go straight to the lighthouse to find Jasmine, where she tells us that Ampharos isn't feeling well and if we can go back to Signwood City to pick up a medicine. So we go do that with Fly and it wasn't much trouble, and now we can face Jasmine, but not yet. Instead, we're gonna move on and go straight to the Lake of Rage where we find our next Pokemon, Venonat. But I'm gonna be honest, I didn't name it because I didn't want to use it. But after that, we faced a shiny Gyarados we can't catch, and then talk to Lance about a secret hideout. And once we get there and do all that mumbo jumbo, that took way too long because there was just so many trainers. But once we do that, we level up Thunder and Fire to get Nidorino and Nidorina. And now we can face Gym Leader Price. I sent out Fire and used Bite about 3 times. That's when Seal used Rest. Now, they didn't really do much, so we used Tail Whip twice and then Bite twice to KO. He sends out Pillow-Swine and we were able to use Tail Whip 2 times before going down to a Blizzard. I sent out Thunder and we used Horn Attack and Double Kick, but since he ate a berry, we only ended up doing a little more than half. They used Blizzard and we somehow lived with 9 HP. After that, we used a Double Kick to KO. His last Pokemon is Dugong and he's faster, landing an Ice Shard, KOing us. So I sent out Sally and we managed to hit a Sleep Powder and then immediately switch into Haunter and use 2 Shadow Balls to KO. With that, I train and evolve Tentacool to a Tentacruel so that we can wipe Jasmine easily. So let's go do that. And it didn't go as well as I thought. We used Surf, but it wasn't enough and we get paralyzed. Next turn, they heal, but we still managed to use Surf again, taking it real low. Next turn, we get hit with Confusion, hitting ourselves, so I switch into Thunder and use Double Kick to KO. She sends out Magnemite and uses Sonic Boom to knock us out because our Double Kick didn't do enough. So I send out Fire and we knock it out with another Double Kick. This is where Steelix smokes the rest of my team and it lands 2 Iron Tails against Fire. And since Tentacruel was fully paralyzed, we didn't get to land 1 hit getting KO'd. Now that was just unlucky and I don't know how, but I swear Iron Tail doesn't miss, because it proceeds to take out the rest of my team no problem. This was supposed to be easy. What happened? Alright, let's try again. After taking down her 2 Magnemites, Steelix knocks out Fire with Iron Tail. So I send out Tentacruel and use 2 Surfs to win. Yup, that's it. If Tentacruel wasn't fully paralyzed or just landed 1 hit, this whole fight would have ended up differently. Now that that's over with, we head to Goldenrod City for the last time because Team Rocket took over the radio tower. So we go inside and fight all the grunts and it went pretty smoothly with Tentacruel, mostly spamming Surf and then sometimes Acid. We did run into our rival down in the basement and this is how it went. With Tentacruel, we used about 1 or 2 Surfs to knock out Golbat, Magnemite, and Haunter. But we switch out because Haunter landed a curse before going down. We send out Sally and she gets destroyed by 2 Thrashes. But it works out because now it's confused. So when I send out Maya, we had an easier time beating Feraligatr. His last Pokemon is Sneasel and they use Feint Attack to finish off Maya. But with Thunder, we use Double Kick to win the fight, no problem. We go back to fighting Team Rocket where we fight Ariana and Archer to finally defeat them, making them disband once more. With that, we can make our way to Blackthorn City, where 3 of our Pokemon evolved. Fire and Thunder evolved into Nidoqueen and Nidoking, and then Sally evolved into a Victory Bell. Doing the gym puzzle, I was stuck here for a solid 6 minutes trying to figure out how to get to the other side, and I swear I'm tripping because I know how to do it, but at the same time, I don't know how I did it. But yeah, that was embarrassing. Once we managed to figure that out, we fight our last gym leader, Claire. And I don't know if Thunder is just bad physically, but he was not doing anything with strength. It was sad, honestly. We get KO'd by Dragon Rage. So I send out Maya and use Confuse Ray and then Cross Poison to KO. She sends out Dragonair and we use Confuse Ray and then Cross Poison to do massive damage, but we get hit by a crit Dragon Pulse. How unlucky. Next turn, we knock it out with another Cross Poison. She sends out another Dragonair and we use Confuse Ray, but this time we weren't as lucky and we get taken out with another Dragon Pulse. I send out Haunter and with 2 Shadow Balls we KO. Her last Pokemon is Kingdra and we were able to land a Shadow Ball before going down to a Dragon Pulse. I sent out Sally, but she couldn't do enough damage, getting KO'd by 2 Dragon Pulses. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. We were close with Tentacruel using Poison Jab, also getting the poison, but Claire just heals, so it didn't really work out. Alright, let's try again. With Tentacruel, we use Toxic Spikes and then switch into Sally, getting hit by a Dragon Rage and then Bite. We somehow live and land a sleep powder, and Sally finally coming in clutch. We switch into Maya and use 3 cross poisons to knock her out. Her next Pokemon is Dragonair, and it gets poisoned as soon as she comes in, and we use Confuse Ray to make her hit herself. And then we land a crit cross poison to KO. Next, Dragonair comes out, and this played out perfectly. She gets poisoned as soon as she comes in, and we go first using Confuse Ray, making her hit herself. Not only that, we do a little bit more damage with poison. Next turn, we use cross poison while she hits herself again to knock herself out. Now that was just awesome. And even if it wasn't enough damage, the poison would have finished her off. But we're getting a little too excited because we still have to fight Kingdra. We used Confuse Ray, but Kingdra wasn't playing and landed 3 smoke screens, making us miss every time. I think she fogged up the whole room because she missed the whole hydro pump, but I ain't complaining. Even though we didn't land a hit, we were slowly doing damage with poison. But since I kept missing, I sent out Haunter and used Shadow Ball, but it wasn't enough and we get knocked out by a crit hydro pump. So I sent out Maya, but we just get smoke screened again and started missing. After that, we get blasted by Hydro Pump, so I switch into Sally and get KO'd by another Hydro Pump. Crazy. I sent out Tentacruel and used 2 poison jabs to win the fight. Man, her last Pokemon was not going down easy. What a monster. After that, we go to the Dragon's Den because Claire's a hater. And then the professor said we should go fight the Kimono girls. So we go do that, and then we catch the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh. And with that, we get our final team ready to face the Elite Four, where we fight our first member, Will. Nah, I'm just kidding. It didn't happen. Yeah, that's right. I didn't face them, not because I didn't want to, but because I couldn't. So let me go ahead and explain a little bit further. So pretty much it was the next day and I was gonna go ahead and start prepping and fighting the Elite Four, where this happens. So as you can see here, it looks pretty normal, right? Except that when I go to my save file, it does not look like this. This is what it looks like. It's a black screen for some reason. And I don't know how to fix it. Like, the bottom screen works perfectly fine. Look, I'll even move locations. And let's just go to Eckertique. See, look, it works. Like, it'll load the flying animation. But once we get there, it looks like this. And this is what it looks like when I go to my other ones. Now, obviously, these are of different runs, but that's crazy. And the one where I only have one save file on there does not work. So, yeah, that's about it. That's what happened, and I don't know how to fix it. And yeah, I will have another video out next Friday, or at least I should anyway. So, I guess look forward to that one, and I promise that one will be complete. It'll be a full video, not like this one. Yeah, hopefully you found that kind of funny, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And, yeah, that's it. See ya.